I'm going to be honest with you for a second. If you are someone who has no desire or no ambition to be even remotely successful, this video is not for you. However, if you are someone who has ambitions, has goals to be successful in business, in life, in health and fitness, or you know, you really want to have a life that you love, well, then this video is going to be extremely valuable for you because it may change your entire mindset on how to win. So I'm making this video because I was having a conversation with a friend recently, good kid, and he was telling me that he has a lot of things that he wants to do, um, which is great. I gave him my opinions on what he should start, and I'll share them towards the end of this video. But as he was telling me this kind of long list of stuff that he had going on, um, all kind of separate aspects, in a way, he had this thought, and although this is quite sick and it's pretty fucked that I'm sharing this online, but I had the thought that this is why I will beat you. Um, the reason I will beat you is because I'm willing to work 10 times harder than you are. Now, like I said, that is a bit sick and a bit, you know, wrong in some people's eyes to have that opinion. But again, I only say that because he's in the exact same position that I was in 3 years ago. When I started making these videos, when I started creating content and learning all these skills, I had no idea that, you know, what it was going to lead to. And now I'm at a stage now where I'm looking back and I'm seeing myself in my friend. And at the end of the day, it's not really up to me to tell them to do this or to do that or whatever. All you can do is guide them and help them as a friend. But that thought really stuck with me over the last few days. And it was, you know, I will win because I'm willing to work 10 times harder than you are. Now, the thing is, at the end of the day, we're not really in a race. I think this is just an analogy in your mind. And I think someone who is and wants to be somewhat successful will have this vision of a race in their mind, which is fine. If it really helps you win, and if you are really running from something or running to something, once you maybe get to the end of the race, you'll realize that it wasn't really worth stressing about or running so hard, let's say. But the race is your mission, and you need to be laser focused on this mission. I'm extremely lucky that I have found what I want to do. And, if you're watching this, you probably will ask, well, I don't know what my mission is. And the thing is, neither did I. If you go back to the start of this channel to the earliest videos, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was talking about. I talked about starting a software company that didn't come to fruition, but it laid the foundations, and it probably will happen in the next 5 years, I reckon. But I have some other cool shit to do before then. But I didn't know my mission either when I started. I didn't. But you can say, oh, now 3 years later, that, oh, he's found his mission, great, he knows what he wants to do. But how do I do that? And I think your mission is the most important thing that you can focus on. And without one, you are lost. You have no race to run. You don't know where the start is and you don't know where the end is. And to find your mission, you must do a load of shit and figure out what you really like. All the skills that I learned, whether that be copywriting, whether that be emails, whether that be creating content, whether that be speaking in front of a camera, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. all of those skills that I learned will and have helped me find this mission that I want to go on. And without learning all that type of stuff, and at the time you may think, okay, this is not worth it. Why am I spending so much time learning this thing? But in 4, 5, 6 years later, you'll look back and you'll say, wow, I'm so grateful that I actually learned that then, because I don't need to learn it now. And it's going to stand to me now. And maybe back then it didn't really stand to me. I spent 6 months learning all about how to like design like apps. Like, I didn't want to be a designer. I didn't want to be a UX UI designer for an app. But in 3 or 4 years' time, when I go to start the software company, it's like when a software engineer comes to me and is like, here's this, can you show me this, or what are your thoughts on this? I can say, well, I actually kind of know how to work my way around this design software. And I'm getting on a tangent here, but what I mean is you have to be laser focused on this mission. And if you don't know your mission, you must go out and try a load of shit and fail loads, but eventually it will stand to you and your mission will become apparent over time. So, like I said, if you need to visualize me or you or someone else in a race, then do it. Because if it's going to push you and motivate you to succeed, great. The problem is, I will probably beat you, to be frank, because again, I'm willing to work 10 times harder than you. And I think when it comes to work, what is work? And Hormozy has a great analogy for this, but like, let's say work in this field and in this stage of our lives, work is kind of just learning. And at the end of the day, what is learning? Learning is just repeated stimuli entering your brain. So in my eyes, what if you could increase the quality and the quantity of this stimuli in a shorter period of time? So I believe that you can become proficient in something in about 6 months. Maybe that's just me, the way my brain works. But if you really, really, really want to learn something, you will. If you spend 6 months doing an hour or two every single day, really focused, really lasered in on, and like I said, the quality of the information has to be top as well. But you can become extremely proficient in one skill in 6 months. Whether you want to then continue on and learn that skill for 2 years to become extremely, extremely, extremely proficient, then do so. For me, I learned a bunch of skills so that I'm kind of like decent at a lot of shit and not necessarily extremely skilled at one thing, which is perfect for being like, let's say, a business owner. You need to be able to wear a lot of hats at the start, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. But you just have to be willing to work more and learn more and ultimately just do more, because so many people are content with sitting on their ass and doing nothing with their life when we only have one. We genuinely only have one. So why would you wait? And if you're scared of failure, if you're scared of what other people think, you will never do anything with your life. You just have to say, fuck it. And I think one of the most important things to focus on is, and again, let's say we're using this race analogy. There's 2 stages of a race. And I believe the most important stage is the start. Again, the whole brand is built off the back of just start, because without starting, you will never reach the other stages. So the first step is always to start, because I will always beat you if you don't start. So you must get going somehow. And again, that's by learning skills. That's by doing random jobs to make a few quid or whatever. And then the second stage, the stage that technically I'm in right now, is the continue phase. is to keep going. And the race analogy, yes, technically there is no finish line because success is arbitrary. It's not necessarily a singular point in time, which is good. I don't want it to be a single point. I don't want it to be the Lamborghini or the big house or whatever. I want it to be a continuously evolving thing. And you need to have that mindset too. If you follow the brand for a while, you probably, and you've implemented some of the stuff that I've been saying, you're probably in this stage too. You're probably in the continue phase. But it's important to fucking keep going. You know, forget the shiny object, forget the girl in the red dress, forget all other external stimuli other than you and your mission. And like I said, if you want to have this analogy of a race and you want to race me, then let's do it. Let's race. Let's race. Because if I work 10 times harder than you, you'll have to work 15 times harder. And at the end of the day, if realistically, if we're both working 10 and 15 times harder than the average person, we're both going to be successful. So let's race. Let's have a race. But yeah, I don't want to keep you too long. You just have to be willing to do more. At the end of the day, do more. Because we have so much time available to us, you just don't even realize. So I don't even know how long this is, but I will leave a link to their newsletter down below. This is kind of where I hash out a lot of my ideas, kind of a longer version of this chat. I'll leave a link for that down below. And, you know, if you are interested in learning a bit more, you know, getting in touch with the brand a bit more, you know, I'll leave Instagram down below and stuff like that. You can follow there too. But hopefully that hits home for you. Do more. And I'll see you at the finish line.